that. Alright, so we're getting set for set 3 on Electric Circuit. This map, not sure how I like this map. It's pretty standard aside from the back temple, which is kind of like Neo Medusa in a way, but it's a 4-player map and it's a very, very large macro map. So I mean the temples in back don't really add the same effect as they would on Neo Medusa. So I don't expect to see any kind of rush play on this map, just based on the huge rush distance there is. And well, we'll see what the players have in store. So going right into the game, we have iFU.Must in the top right position as the Peach Protoss, and in the bottom left as the red Terran. Sorry, we have Skzlime. So, like I said, this map has a huge rush distance, and they're spawning cross positions. So there is really no possibility of an early rush strategy actually proving effective, and so we should see another very strong macro game, as we did in game 2, which Skzlime actually, his play was really quite nice in that macro game. Just he did such a good job on his positioning and his expansion timing. Lancer X just really didn't stand much of a chance, especially after having lost all those early Dragoons to his early shenanigans, which didn't happen to work out. But we shouldn't see those early shenanigans this game, so we'll see if he can just win it in the straight-up macro game. And we have a pause. Oh, so I'm just gonna take a second to make sure my stream is still okay. Okay, still no viewers, but okay. And dashboard, open new window. Alright, so back into the game. We have Skzlime, who apparently had to pause for some reason, throwing down a supply depot in his main, and Lancer X looks like he's throwing down a pylon in his main. Very, very standard stuff going down for both players. That's why you don't play SC2. Alright, so Barracks going down in the main for Skzlime, and Refinery going down. So I'm surprised that he's not going for his 1-rack FE that he did last game, especially since he did so well on it, and there's really going to be such a narrow timing where Lancer X will be able to put pressure on it, just because of the huge rush distance. And Lancer X is taking his back expansion, his mineral only, 12 necks at his back expansion. I don't know, I don't really feel too good about that, because he could have just taken his natural with, it wouldn't have been a problem to take his natural, and so, it doesn't really make sense as to why he would choose to take a mineral only over his natural, which has more mineral patches and it has a Vespian Geyser. But looks like Skzlime is going for the same build as he did in game 1, which I don't see why he would go for an FD build on such a large map. It will allow him to get that expansion up with decent time, but I mean, he should have just done a 1-rack FE or a Siege expand, I feel, because he's really just going to take so much time to get over to Must's face that it just won't make a difference once he gets there. And he's going to go for a bunker rush, but I mean, Lancer X pulling a bunch of probes, and that bunker rush is not going to prove successful. 4 probes staying off the line, take care of that bunker, and yeah, he's just going to kill the SCV there. And I mean, he did pull a lot of probes off for that, but he didn't really receive too much damage. And Skzlime just rallying Marines up to his base. And he built a Vulture. I didn't see a tank come out for Skzlime, which is quite surprising. He's got 4 guys on gas now. Wants to mine that extra quickly. But I mean, I believe that Terran actually you get the least amount of profit from having 4 guys on gas. That was in a post that was on TL a little while ago. Someone did tests on how much gas you got with 3 and how much gas you got with 4, and it's a very, very small margin for Terran. But that Vulture going to get into the main, get a few probe kills, which is quite good for Skyline. So that decision to go for the early Vulture, I mean, pretty good since Lancer X can't really get over to Skyline's base quickly, because the map's just so big, and he'll be able to get a siege tank or whatever he needs to defend out on time for those Dragoons, regardless. And he's going to try to run another Vulture by, but those Dragoons, on top of things, had Skyline just waited a second longer, he could have maybe gotten that one into the main, which would have caused a lot of difficulties for Lancer X. A huge mine hitting all the Dragoons, and that mine's not going to prove to be as effective. And so Skzlime is going to just expand behind spider mines. Not sure about that decision. It's interesting. I mean, you can expand behind spider mines, but if you don't have any support units, the Dragoons could slowly micro those mines down. And it looks like that's what Lancer X is going to go for. Let's see how good his Dragoon micro is, and takes a mine hit. Looks like he got that mine before it hit. And Skyline laying some more mines, gets 2 Dragoons, and that's going to set this push back quite a bit. The tank is almost out, should be able to handle whatever's left. If Must does try to run past and snipe the tank, he will run into that spider mine. And, just barely not getting hit by that spider mine. Actually, now that spider mine is out of the way and the tank is there, Must going for the snipe on the tank, but he doesn't quite get it. Very low HP left on the tank. And this is what I was worried about when I saw the spider mine first build from Skyline. It just so hard to defend if your opponent has good micro. And you could just micro down spider mines all day with ranged Dragoons. So Skyline setting himself quite far back in game number 3. I feel as though he should have just stuck to what worked for him in the last game. Just gone with the macro game. This map does favor the macro game, and so that the early harassment that he was able to do with the early Vulture is minimal compared to the harassment that is the damage that's being done now by Must. So Must adding on a couple more gateways, gonna go up to 4 gateways. Skyline on 2 factories, gonna go for some drop action. We'll see if these drops pay off better than they did in the first game between these 2 players. In that game, they did not prove to be too effective, and Must was completely completely well prepared for any drop shenanigans. Though he doesn't have any Dragoons back at his base, those Dragoons should finish in and around when the dropship gets there, maybe slightly after. So we'll see how much damage those vultures can produce for Skyline. He needs those vultures to be extremely effective. He's finding himself quite far behind, and the first spider mine hits, and another spider mine hit on the Dragoon, and just 2 Dragoons, but they're able to clear up those vultures, it looks like. And yeah, just not enough harassment done to make up for the damage he's taken already. And Must is going to go for the tanks here. He's going to get cut off by the SCVs, not going to get either tank. Quite good micro by Skyline. Must maybe should not have gone for that, but at this point, I don't know if it's going to really matter. Must blocking off his front with pylons. Quite a good decision, since Skyline's going to have to do some pretty good vulture harass to... Oh, but Must blocks in his Dragoons. A little bit of a careless wall, I would say. I thought the Dragoons could get past through those gaps, but apparently they can't. So he's going to have to kill off the pylon, which of course is not ideal for him. But I don't think it's going to cost him the game either, being as he's already in such a good position. So Must off the 3 base now, and it looks like Skyline is gearing up to take his 3rd as well at his mineral only, or that could just be a floating barracks. Yeah, that's a floating barracks. I can't tell if he's building his command center or not. Another drop going into the natural. No units back for Must. All of his units are out on the field, and Skyline's going to be able to do a good deal of damage with those vultures. A few mine hits hitting the Zealots. And, could get a huge bomb here on the probes. And he does get a few probes. I didn't get to see how many that was since they were all stacked. But forcing a lot of time off mining for Must, and he may be able to find his way. Skyline might be able to find his way back in the game if he continues with these vulture shenanigans, and if they continue working for him. Must should keep his